Hey everybody, today's video is all about VAT, specifically VAT and property development. So let's assume you've got a company and you're a builder or a property developer and you are building resi houses. Now, the rules say the sale, or technically in VAT parlance, the first grant of a major interest, but basically it's a sale of that property, is zero rated for VAT. So that means you do add VAT to the sales price, but it's at 0%. And the beauty of the 0% means that it's not going to affect your margins, you're not going to impact your customers having to fork out the VAT and losing business. But on the flip side, you can claim all the VAT back on the expenditure that's gone into building that unit, that house, those houses, that developments. So 0% is charged, but it's still technically charged, which then enables you to claim the VAT back. Terrific. On all the purchases that have gone into building that house. Now, just want to talk today about what happens if there is a change of intention. Now, let's say that for some reason you cannot sell the property, or you cannot sell it, or whatever the circumstances may be, that you decide that you're going to let it out long term instead of selling it. You're going to hang on to it. Now, the problem with this is it changed the nature of the supply, changes it from being zero rated to exempt. When you collect rent on properties, on resi properties, that is exempt from VAT. There's no VAT charged, like when you sell a property, but crucially, even though the VAT is zero, it's exempt, not zero rated. You might say, what's the difference? Well, the difference is when you make exempt supplies, you can't claim the VAT back on all the purchases and everything else that went into producing what you've built. So a bit of a nightmare. So, if you'd have sold the house, claim all that lovely VAT back, no problem. But if you let it out, you can't claim the VAT back because it's an exempt, not zero rated supply. So big problem if you've already claimed all the VAT back, because the work has been in progress, and then you change your mind that you're going to rent it, not sell it. Then what happens is we've got this mechanism called clawback mechanism, and HMRC will say, right, we want all of that input VAT back, thank you very much, that you've claimed. We want it all back. So it could be a cash flow nightmare. It could be a bit of a headache. So the key date on all this is all about the date of intention of the change. So it's from the point that you decide. It's all about the intention. When did you intend that change to happen, that you said, look, we're not going to sell this, we're going to rent this? The crucial date is not when the first rental income came in from the tenants. It is when you decided at which point you're going to change your strategy from selling to renting long term. That's the key date for when that clawback would kick in. Now, what about short term? So let's just say you are the developer, the builder, and you say, actually, we just want this to be a short term thing for whatever reason. Now, the rules on short-term lettings, rather than selling, slightly different. What you do is you look forward on a 10-year basis and apply that percentage of the time to the input VAT. So what does that mean? Well, I'll give you an example. So let's say in this case, you've got a guy who says, look, I'm not going to sell this property that I've built, this house. I'm going to let it out, but I only intend to let it out for 2 years. And then I'll sell it. Oh, okay. So basically the rules say that, like I said, there's this forward 10-year rule. So he says, look, I'm going to let it for, my intention is to let it for 2 years and then sell it. So HMRC basically say, right, 2 years out of 10 years, that's 20%, 2/10, 20%. So we'll have 20% of all the input VAT that you've claimed, we'll have that back. And then after 2 years, he sells it, and you're allowed to keep that 80% of the VAT that you've already recovered. So because it's switched from being exempt to a zero rated supply. So do bear that in mind. And similarly, if the guy said, right, well, we think we're going to hang on to it for 4 years for whatever reason, I don't know, they could have emigrated for something and come back, but for 4 years he decides, look, that's what's going to happen, then HMRC will want 40% of the VAT back. And of course, if you then get to that point, those 2 years and 4 years, and things change, then you either have to pay more VAT back or claim it. Because let's say in that example, come back to the first one, and the guy says, you know what, we're going to rent it out for 2 years, tells HMRC want 20% of the VAT back that they've already shelled out, and after one of those 2 years, the guy says, actually, we're gonna sell this thing now. Well, then there's adjustment again at that point, because it's only fair. Why would you have 20% restricted when you've only had 1 year of actually letting it out? So that's how the mechanism works. If you are a property developer, you're building houses, and you have a change of intention from selling to either long-term or short-term lettings. So hope you liked this video. If you did, please do remember to subscribe, and as always, I'll see you soon.